Hey guys, this is Nathan the Tugan, 7A math teacher. Welcome back, and this is a new video that's covering section 1.3, orders of operation. So before we talk about what is orders of operation, let's have some scenarios. So let's say we have an expression 4 plus 3 times 5. In this expression, we have two operations, add and multiply. The question is, which order do we do first, and does it really matter? Well, here is two scenarios. We add first, so 4 plus 3 becomes 7, and 5 is left as is, and then we multiply 7 times 5, and we get 35. Scenario 2 is 4 plus 3 times 5. In this case, we multiply first. So instead of adding 4 plus 3, we multiply 3 times 5, and we're going to get 4 plus 15. 4 stays as is. The only thing changes, 3 times 5 becomes 15. Now what we do is we simply add. So as you can see, we get two different answers, and in math, it's the most terrible thing you can do. Because in math, we want exact thing all the time. Like, for example, if you're gonna do this expression in your house and somebody else do this expression halfway across the world, you guys need to have the same answer, or math is just useless. And we use math because we know that whatever we do here, that person across the world will do it the same way. So what do we do? Well, back then, ancient math people created a set of rules that what we call now are orders of operation. So what are orders of operation? Well, there's 4 steps. Okay. There's the first step is do all the operation within the parentheses. So it can be the curly parentheses, it can be the boxy parentheses, and it can even be a fraction bar. How does a fraction bar works? We'll cover that later. But notice in the expression given above, 4 plus 3 times 5, there's nothing inside the parentheses right here. There's no operation to do. So the parentheses part of this expression is already over. So we don't need to do step 1 on this expression. So let's do step 2, do it exponents. If you guys don't know what exponents is, it's 1.2, the video before this. Go check that video out if you haven't. So exponents, since there's no exponents, we do multiplication and division from left to right. So again, a lot of people think that just because multiplication is right here and then division comes second, we always have to do multiplication first. Most people get this wrong, but the truth of the matter is that the order we do multiplication and division is the order they occur from left to right. So if division is to the left of the multiplication, we do the division first. And the same thing with addition and subtraction is from left to right. So if subtraction comes first and then addition comes later, we do subtraction first. So a good way to memorize this orders operation is, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. P stands for parentheses, E stands for exponents, my stands for multiplication, dear stands for division, R stands for addition, Sally stands for subtraction. So going back, scenario 2 right here is the one correct, since we're supposed to multiply first before we add. See, step 3 is right here, step 4 is right here. So step 3 is multiply and then add. So let's try some examples. So in this case, we have 2 times 14 minus 4.5. First thing first, we subtract first because it's inside the parentheses. And then we're left with 2 times 9.5, which is What's the operation between them? Those two numbers? Multiplication. So that's the only operation now. So we multiply to get 19. Now we have number 2, which is 5 times 30 plus 10 minus 5. What we do is we have two types of parentheses. What do? Well, we do the innermost parentheses. In this case, 10 minus 5. 10 minus 5 is 5. So now this expression becomes 5 times 30 plus 5. Now, if there's no operation that's indicated with the parentheses, like this one, like 30 plus parentheses 5, it doesn't indicate any operation. What we can do is we can simply drop the parentheses. We cannot, in this case, right here, we cannot drop the parentheses because it indicates multiplication. But in this case, it doesn't indicate any operation because the operation is right here. We add. So this one's pretty useless. So what we do is we drop it. So now what we do, we're just gonna do the operation 5 times 30 plus 5. We do the addition because it's in the operation, which is going to be 5 times 35. In this case, again, I'm repeating this because this is important. We simply cannot drop the parentheses here because there's that parentheses indicate operation. Okay, since it indicates an operation, we cannot simply drop it to get 535. What we do is we actually multiply 5 times 35 to get 175. Now, hopefully your previous teachers told you guys that a fraction bar indicates division. Example of this is 14 over 7 also mean 14 divided by 7. Why is that important? Well, the next question indicates fraction bar. And again, when I was talking about this, this is when I'm gonna show you a fraction bar is kind of like a parentheses. So in this case, we have 12 plus 4 over 11 minus 3. As you can see, the fraction bar separates the expression into two groups, the one above it and the one below it. So we can rewrite this as division because this one's it's kind of hard for us to do it one by one. So some people likes to rewrite this fraction into expression that is 12 plus 4 divided by 11 minus 3, and that's okay. I think right now it's preferable for you guys to write it like this than solve it on the top and then solve in the bottom, because you guys we're not learning our fractions yet. That'll be next chapter. So I would like you guys to write it like this. But if you want to, you can use the fraction. As long as your answer is going to be the same, okay? I'm going off tangent, so let's go back. So what we do is we do the leftmost parentheses first, 12 plus 4, which will give us 16, and then now we go into the remaining parentheses, which is 11 minus 3, which is 8. So it's going to be 16 divided by 8, which is basically 2, and that's your final answer. Let's do number 4. We're going to get 20 divided by 2 times 10 minus 4 plus 2. Now we do the operation inside the parentheses, first thing first. But in this case, we have a minus and a plus. Which one do we do first? Do we subtract or do we add? Some people do this, definitely do this, 4 plus 2. But what you actually do is you do the operation from left to right, since they're on the same level. They're on the same number. Right here, they're on the same number, not do addition and then do subtraction. They're actually on the same level, so the order matters to them. Where are we? So right here, 10 minus 4 is what we should do. Oh shoot. My bad on this. 6 plus 2. Now what we do is 20 divided by 2 times 6 plus 2, which becomes, now we do the addition, 20 divided by 2, which is 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. Now what do we do now? We have a division and a multiplication. Some people will definitely do the multiplication, but what you actually need to do is you do division first, not multiplication, divide. So 20 divided by 2 is 10. 10 times 8 is 80. And that's your final answer. Number 5. This one has exponents, but hopefully you're pretty good with exponents. Now let's try it together. So we have 4 times 17 minus 9 squared, or some people might read this as 4 times 17 minus 9 to the second power. So what do we do? Well, first thing first, we don't do the exponent. We do the thing inside the parentheses, 17 minus 9, which is 8. Now the second thing is we do the exponents. 4 times 8 squared. 8 squared is 64. 4 times 64 is 256. Now hopefully you guys pause the video here and you do this by yourself. Okay, you can unpause the video and let's try this together. 27 divided by 3 times 2 plus 2 minus 1. So in this case, I'm not going to show you guys step by step. I mean, I'm not going to color code this, but hopefully you can see where this part is going. So 27 divided by 3 times 2 plus 2 times 2 plus 2 minus 1. First thing first, what do we do first? Do we divide, or we multiply, or we add or subtract? We're going to divide. So 27 divided by 3 is 9 times 9 times 2 plus 2 minus 1. This becomes what's the next operation? We're going to multiply. 18. 9 times 2 becomes 18, and then the rest becomes, we just leave the rest as is. Now we have 18 plus 2 minus 1. Which one do we do first? Do we do addition or we do subtraction? We do addition. So it's going to be 20 minus 1, which is 19. Now let's try this together. Number 2. Hopefully you got 19 for your number 1. Let's do number 2. 4 times 2 minus 3 plus 12 divided by 2. So what do we do first? We're going to multiply. So this 4 times 2 becomes 8. Oh shoot. This becomes 8 minus 3 plus 12 divided by 2. Next thing is we do the division. You're not going to do subtraction or addition. Do division. This actually becomes 8 minus 3 plus 6. And now we have 8 minus 3 plus 6. Which one do we do first? Do we add or subtract? We do subtraction. So 8 minus 3 is 5. And then we just copy the operation. 5 plus 6 is actually 11. Hopefully you got 11 for you too. Let's move on to 3. Just eliminating some spaces. So now we have 2 times 4 plus 2 times 10 minus 4. What do we do first? We do the operation inside the parentheses. the innermost parentheses, which is inside this square looking parentheses. This is actually called brackets, if you guys didn't know. 2 times 4 plus 2, and then 10 minus 4 is actually 6. In this case, can we drop the square brackets? No, we can't, because there's an operation that's between 2 and 6. And that operation is multiplication. So now, which one do we do first? Do we add 4 plus 2, or are we going to multiply 2 times 6? We're going to multiply 2 times 6. So this actually becomes 4 plus 12. And now we do the remaining operation inside the parentheses, which is 2 times 16. And then 2 times 16 is 32. Hopefully you got 32 as your answer for 3. And then 4 is, I'm going to do this by parts. This number 4, I'm not going to rewrite this. I'm just going to solve it. So 24 plus 6 is, we do the top first. 24 plus 6 is actually what? 30. So this is actually 30. And then the fraction bar is translating as division. And then the bottom is 17 minus 2 is actually 15. 30 divided by 15 is 2. So hopefully your answer for 4 is 2. Again, you can, so you might have been lost here. The top version, 24 plus 6 is actually becomes 30, and 17 minus 2 is 15. The fraction bar becomes division, and then I just divide. Now let's try evaluating the expression with when we add variables in the expression. So in this case, 2 times x plus y. Again, first thing first, when you're evaluating the expression, you're going to replace the variables with numbers, the corresponding numbers. So it's going to be 2 plus x plus y becomes 2 times 2 plus 3. X becomes 2 and y becomes 3. Now what do? We do orders of operation. We do the operation inside the parentheses, which is 2 plus 3 becomes 5. And then 2 times 5 is 10. And that's your final answer. Now we have 3 times x plus y squared. What do? Again, substitute x with 2 and y with 3. So this becomes 3 times 2 times 2 plus 3 squared. Now what do? We do the one inside the parentheses, the operation inside the parentheses. This actually still becomes 3 times 5 squared. Now before, what do? Well, we do the exponent. 3 times 5 squared. 5 squared is actually 25. Why is that? Again, it's 5 times 5, not 5 times 2. And then 3 times 25 is simply multiply. Now hopefully you guys pause the video here, try this out yourself, but let's solve it together. Alright, I'll show you guys the answer. Hopefully you got it correct. So it's actually 1.01 times, what is 2 plus 6? 8. So your answer should be 8.08. Number 2, 1.01. So for 2, you're supposed to get 0.2. You're going to multiply 1.01 with 2. because x becomes 2, and then you're going to get 2.02, but you're just going to add 6 to that, so you're going to get 8.02. Number 3, you're going to get, first thing first, subtract x minus 1, which is 1, and then x minus 1, 2 minus 1 is 1, plus 4 is 5, and 0.2 times 5 is actually 1. Hopefully you got these 3 answers, 8.08, 8.02, and 1 on your practice. Hopefully this helps explain 1.3, and this is the end of our lesson. See you next video. Peace.